Hello everybody and welcome to Eddzshed. Today we are looking at Caudecus's Manor, Path 2 in Guild Wars 2. So we're going to get straight into it. Once again, this is going to be sort of a very condensed version where I'm just going to try and explain the main points, so I'm not going to get bogged down in just going over random stuff. So the first thing that you're going to do is obviously select Path 2. The next bit is you're going to enter the Manor and you're going to be searching through several of the different rooms. So yeah, the first thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking through several of the rooms. There will be different traps and enemies in the different rooms. There will be turrets that can net you. The nets can, in fact, if you're by yourself, just keep you completely pinned, so you will not be able to move at all, so you want to get rid of them very quickly. Another thing that you will see in a minute, I'll make sure that the video goes over it for you, is that there will be traps on the floor and you'll need to stay on the carpet, basically like the child's game, the floor is lava. This particular room that we're in currently isn't one of those such instances, but you will need to bear that in mind. And we are looking for the rest of the Seraph soldiers. Right, yeah, so this room, as you can see, the floor will actually kill you if you stand on it. You can use an ability, as I did there, to just jump across. But you can also put down pillows, which will allow you to jump across using it that way. Now there is a chest at the end of this room. Yeah, so we're going to come out. We're going to have a bit of a fight here in the open. There'll be lots of AOE. If you just keep moving, it should be easy enough. If you've got any reflection abilities, for instance a Guardian or a Mesmer, you'll be able to use them. It's quite a great effect. And then just up this little hill, we've actually got a boss that we're going to hopefully be able to entice to come down here and fight us, and then we'll be able to very quickly just do lots of DPS, keeping stacked to do as much damage as we possibly can. Right, so there's no big challenge with this particular boss. We've just stacked here. We've just done plenty of damage. We've managed to get him down very quickly, and now we can head up here and finish up the rest of the enemies. They shouldn't cause you any real trouble. They go down reasonably quickly. Just dispose of them as quickly as you can. Right, now in this next bit, you can see that we've actually used invisibility to get past them. There's no point in fighting them. You can if your entire party wants it, but don't just decide that yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna wind up quite a few people. Once you've gone into that corner, you're going to pick up the bomb barrels. Ideally, all 5 of you would pick them up and place them onto these red circles here. Unfortunately, a few of our party members weren't aware of what to do. They started placing them at the door as opposed to the red circles. But we do eventually do it, and I'll now cut in the video to the point where we actually manage to get through it. But as I say, ideally you will all pick up the bombs together, move them to these red circles, and deposit them at the same time. Right, so now that the gate's down, what you'll probably want to do is what we do here, where we come in, and we won't go straight up there, as you can see. We will swing round to the right, and we'll come down here, and this gives us an opportunity to finish any mobs that has followed us from the previous section before we go engaging in the next bit, and it will also allow us time just to rest and recuperate that little bit, so we can go into the next fight fully healed. Once again, it's the same thing as I mentioned in Path 1. If you see those big red circles around you, it means that you being targeted basically by a sniper. You're going to take a lot of damage if you don't move. I was able to dodge out of it. I would suggest you trying to perhaps get behind some cover, something like that, just taking you out of the line of sight. So this bit, you'll be able to see that we're actually fully clearing these mobs. I believe that you can actually just sort of dodge, or I should say, skip them, run straight past them. I don't believe that the turrets will turn around to attack you. I'm not certain of that, as I don't run this path very often, but it's no big challenge for you to clear most of them. To be honest, they don't do a huge amount of damage, even though only a reasonably competent group should be able to clear the entire area rather quickly. And now you can also see that one of the main bosses has decided to attack us. We are going to focus our attacks on him while trying to dodge the large AoE casts that he puts on you, which will inflict a lot of condition damage. And while you can see that there's still some turrets firing at us, quite frankly, they just don't do enough damage for us to really be that concerned about. We just want to do as much DPS on the main boss as we can, and once again it applies to sort of the reflection skills. If you've got them, casting them, they will help to defeat the main boss. So we've managed to take this boss out pretty quickly, and then we can move on, destroying these turrets that are still firing at us. You can try and skip past them once again. It's at this point though, it's probably not worth it because you've got another boss in a minute, and anything that's down here that could cause you hassle is worth being rid of, these turrets in particular. Right, so this boss once again has lots of large AoE attacks. It's really very useful to have mesmers and guardians that can reflect the stuff back at them, but equally you can dodge around them. You know, there's no extra mobs that you've really got to be concerned about. As long as you're on your feet and you're nimble enough, you're going to get past them. This is, I want to say, sort of two phases. Whether or not his attacks change, to be honest, I still can't really tell. I don't really notice it. Just keep moving, the principle stays the same, but first we'll fight him here, and then in a moment he will run down the hill as he's doing now, and we'll fight him towards the bottom. But the technique remains the same. Just stay out the AoE and do as much damage to him as possible using reflection when you're able. Right, and with him going down, that should now be the end of the dungeon. You have to come up here and just release the Seraph. There'll be some dialogue and stuff that goes on, but nothing too major. We'll get our rewards now, and we'll be able to go on and do Path 3. So if this has been helpful, please do like and subscribe, and if you've got any comments on how I can improve this, I am sort of very much trying to develop my technique for doing these dungeon tutorials, and we'll come back to any ones that I haven't done quite well enough once I've done a complete guide. So please, as I say, like and subscribe, and I will see you around.